Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today is Wednesday, it's the 22nd of December and we're so close, so very close to Christmas now. I'm sure you're all busy getting ready, preparing everything you need for Christmas, for a Christmas feast. We're certainly very busy in my place. However, I have had a little time to sit down and relax, so I thought I would just pop on and do a little bit of stitching and chatting with you. So stay a while and we'll do a little bit of stitching together. So I've decided today to do a little bit more on the very charming Riverwalk charm. This is a beautiful chart by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I am stitching a tent stitch, which is half a stitch, and I'm working on a 25 count pre-gridded fabric. It's a very good fabric. A lot of people say that it works very well for them because the grid actually does help you keep in track if you're not very good at counting too far down. So I found that really useful, and I've managed to get all the way down. Yesterday I did about 700 stitches, which is a total record for me, but it was because I was doing a lot of these block colors here, a lot of blacks and dark browns mixed together, so it was quite plain sailing around this area. The area that gets really tough is the confetti part just up here around this tree. That gets a little bit crazy every so often, and I find that I have to switch between a confetti area and a non-confetti area so that I can not get tired too quickly. So this part here is all fairly new, all this part, and it's really nice. I mean, these charts take so long, but it's really nice when you actually do get something revealed and you think, oh, I haven't seen that bit before. It suddenly reveals itself. Kind of makes the whole thing less tedious in a way, because sometimes if you're just doing tree area or you're just doing areas where there's a lot of confetti like here, you feel like you're never coming out, and you also feel like you're never getting anywhere sometimes. But I'm glad to say that I have managed to get this area done, and what I'd like to do is to continue working downwards and finishing this whole section. It's not even a third of this chart, coming all the way down to the bottom and then starting again on the top right. So this is the very left of my chart, and I've worked all the way down. So it's taken me forever. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, this is not a quick job by any means, and any of you that are doing these, this is not a supersized, by the way, this is a regular, so it's not a supersized, but even so, it does feel kind of supersized to me. Having said that, I do feel like I'm never going to come out of this chart without being really old and grey. But hey, it's something that we do because we choose to do it, we love it, and there is a sense of accomplishment near the end. Or even when you do little bits and you achieve little sections, there is a sense of accomplishment. So it's not all just waiting for a finish. I think sometimes you have to stop and just kind of appreciate the journey as well, because there is value in the journey, and sometimes we can miss that because we're so keen on seeing an end result that we miss the actual journey and what it means to us. And what I find really helps me connect with my pieces is actually listening to some really soft music. I do like to listen to audiobooks, but I find that soft music really does give you a sense of tranquility and calm and peace, which is actually quite profoundly doubled during the Christmas period. And I think you'll find that because the Christmas holidays are about giving and thankfulness and peace and tranquility and reflection, you can appreciate the beauty of actually stitching during the festive season a little bit more than at other times of the year, I think. Now, this is another fairly confetti area. that I'm doing here. So I choose to go row by row because I find it's easier to not make a mistake. It's not so messy for me at the back, crisscrossing over the back throughout the whole square hundreds of times. I'm only crisscrossing over that row with that thread. So when I've looked at the back, although it's not a huge difference, I do find it slightly less bulky when I do row by row. So it's kind of a toss-up between a row by row or cross-country inside that square and then parking below. And you're probably thinking, well, how do you know which one you're going to do? Well, when there's less colours in the square, that's when I do the cross-country in the square, because say there's only 3 colours mixed in there. I'll do one, park below or at the side. Then I'll do another colour, park below or at the side. And then the whole thing is done after 2 or 3 colours. But when you've got so many colour changes in a row, I think it's just easier to take it at a pace and zigzag down. That's just the way I find it easier. I'm not saying that everybody will, and most people have different ideas, or some people will do the same as me, other people will have a different idea. It really is what they call horses for courses. It's what you get along with and you enjoy. That's the main thing. Because during my stitching journey, I have appreciated all the advice that people have given me, and I've really taken some of it on board, but not everything. Okay, I've got a bit of trouble here. There's 2 parked here and there shouldn't be 2 parked here. That's the only issue with parking. The issue with parking is sometimes things are parked where they shouldn't be parked. So I'm going to get my skein out and check that just quickly. Okay, that's the right colour. This one's the wrong colour, so I'm going to just snip it. I don't waste time trying to figure out what the parked thread is. Unless it's really apparent, just snip it off and then I'll get the thread back. I think I know what I've done. Never mind. Okay. So as I was saying, I take advice or I listen to advice, and then sometimes I apply some of the techniques that people have shared. And if they don't work for me, obviously, I'll just discard them. And other times I think, wow, I'm really glad that I took this person's advice because it's really useful and it's kind of helped me as well. I need this colour to come back. So when you watch flosstube videos and people say, oh, I do this and I do that, by all means you can try them. You can try the methods that people do, but don't immediately expect to like it, because you might find it doesn't work for you. And that really is the truth about it. You shouldn't do something just because other people are doing it, basically. That's one thing I've learned. It's not to assume that what other people are doing is what you should be doing. I don't think that's right. I just now I have found a method that suits me, and occasionally I will change it around a bit, but mostly I'm very happy with the method. And just because something is faster to do also doesn't mean you should do it that way, because if you're doing something that makes you go faster but you're not enjoying it, then what's the point? At the end of the day, you're supposed to be enjoying it. So even if it's slower for you, then so be it. As long as you're enjoying it, that's what matters, you know. So it's a little bit more tedious to go row by row because it's slower, but I often find, well, I definitely find that I make a lot less mistakes, usually. Often I make mistakes when I'm recording because I'm not paying 100% attention. But when I'm stitching by myself, I find I make less mistakes when I'm going row by row. So I can actually kind of multitask and have a chat with other people, or I can watch TV, like one eye on the TV, one eye on the stitching, and we're all good. Or I can listen to an audiobook, and then the row by row is a bit more simplified if you're intending to do other stuff like that. So how is everybody feeling today? I had a terrible cold last week, which I was talking about on my last video, and I feel like I haven't quite gotten rid of it, to be honest. It's not come back, but I still feel a bit, I don't know, achy. I've got like muscular pain and stuff. I just don't feel like it's completely shifted, and it's really quite irritating because I was hoping that by the time the Christmas week came around that I would be fully recovered, but hey, things don't always work out as you want them to, do they? But I'm just grateful that I don't have the heavy sniffles and sneezing and all that stuff, because that's really frustrating when you need to be cooking and stuff like that, which I will be doing soon. We'll need to be cooking, and I've already got a turkey in the freezer which I need to defrost fairly soon, and so there is quite a lot of cooking preparation and stuff for Christmas Day. So the last thing I really want is to be sick, so I'm trying really hard to not get sick. So that means not going out very much, because one of the quickest ways to get sick is to actually join a crowd of people, which I'm not willing to do at the moment this week, especially as I don't still feel 100% from this cold I had last week. So I'm not even going to risk it. So I don't think I was sick last Christmas, but I did have a lot of sinus issues last year, but they were so kind of on and off, coming and going, and then one day you'd feel great, the next day you'd have sinus pain again. Just was weird, and I just kept thinking, I'm better now. Oh no, I'm not better now. Oh wait, yes, I am better. Hang on, no, I'm not. So it was a real pain, because one day you'd feel better for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden you're back to square one. And it drove me nuts, I tell you. But doctors are not very helpful. They're just like, take painkillers, you know. That's about as much as you're going to get. Nasal sprays, blah, blah, blah. They really don't know what to do. But the one thing that did work for me really well was a nasal cleaning with salt water, which I know sounds absolutely awful, and it was the first few times. And so I ordered this bottle with salty water. You make up your own salt water kind of liquid and you squeeze it up your nose. I can't seem to thread this one. You squeeze it up your nose and it comes out of the other nostril, and it sounds absolutely awful, like you're drowning in the ocean, or it kind of feels like you're drowning in the ocean when you first do it. But now, after doing it for about 6 months, it's just like brushing my teeth. It just goes up one nostril, out one nostril, done. I don't even think about it. And it really does cleanse your sinuses and your nasal passages, and it stops all those germs and stuff and allergens from, you know, creating havoc up your nose and in your sinuses. So that's been really good. That's been one thing that has helped. But of course, nothing really goes away forever, so we do have to take care to try and beat these bugs that keep coming for us. So I am looking forward to Christmas Day. I have created a little table by the window that has a little Christmas tree, because I'm not one for extravagance and huge decorations and decorating every room, and I'm just a very understated, low-key kind of person. Well, apart from the fact that I don't have a huge place right now, so I can't fill it up with stuff. But I am spending a bit of time doing small little things, but doing them well. And I've done my little table. It's got a few presents on for my husband and my son and myself. And so the plan is, on Christmas morning after breakfast, we will open up our gifts together, and my son is quite excited about that. And because he's 13 now, so his level of excitement is kind of different to when he was really small, and he used to get excited all the time and jump around and jump on the sofas and jump on the bed, all excited. Now it's a very low-key kind of excitement when it gets to teen years, and you know, when he receives something, he'll just be like, oh cool, thanks, you know. There's no like great big exclamations of joy or anything, but as long as he appreciates what, you know, we do for him, which I'm sure he does, that's the main thing. So I've got him, actually, because my son is really, really into space, and he just loves the solar system and planets and stuff like that. Ever since he was little, he's been really, really keen on it. And I found this game called Terraforming Mars. So it's a game where you have to try and make Mars a habitable planet for humans. And I thought, wow, that sounds like it's right up his street. He's not hugely into board games, which has been a bit of a shame, because my husband and I like to play a few board games like Monopoly or Othello, you know, stuff like that every so often, not regularly. And he's never really been into them. But I'm hoping that this one that I got for him, Terraforming Mars, will be something that he will actually enjoy. So funnily enough, I went for a walk with him the other day, and it was the day we went into town, and he was talking about some game he was playing on the computer or something he'd seen on TV, and he was saying that it was about Mars, and he was saying stuff about, oh, if Mars could be a planet where humans could live, blah blah blah. And he just started talking about this himself, having no idea that we've actually purchased him a game which is about the same subject. So I was kind of winking at my husband, like to say, oh, he's really into this, you know. I'm sure he's really going to like his gift that we've got him then, because he's, you know, happily, animatedly chatting about this thing he was watching on the TV screen. And I said, well, I think we've made the right choice. So we'll wait and see. Christmas morning, he'll open his present and hopefully he'll like it, because it's always hard. I think the older they get, the harder they are to buy for, because, like, what do you buy a teenage boy apart from games, which he already has tons and tons of games that he shares with his dad, and they play together. Apart from that, what do you get? I mean, I think it's harder for boys actually, because they end up getting stuff like jumpers and socks and, you know, stuff that's just really not exciting. But there's only so many games they can have, or that they can even play. So computer games is usually always the top choice, and then after that, I don't know, because I don't think he thinks that stuff like a pair of socks is actually a gift. It's more like a necessity. So he's not impressed with stuff like that. And I'm really difficult to buy for as well. I'm really difficult to buy for because I like things like books, but all the books I read now mostly are on Kindle. So unless my husband gifts me a Kindle book, it's not something I can unwrap, so it's not very exciting. And the other thing I like is obviously craft stuff like cross stitch and knitting and that kind of thing. But I already have all the cross stitch stuff that I need, and I know a lot of you won't agree with me because you can never have enough stash, but I really do have enough stash for now. And so he's not going to go and buy me another cross stitch pattern, because I already have what I'm doing, what I need, and spare as well. I've already got kits that I probably will get around to in the next couple of years as well. So we're talking, like, it's difficult to buy for people, difficult to buy for anyone these days, because a lot of stuff is downloadable stuff. And I've just lost my 310, which I can't see. Where is my 310? This is not good because I don't want to have to stand up again to go and find. Oh, there you are. Found you. That's really frustrating when you can't find your colours. So yeah, if it's not something downloadable, I mean, he can buy me stuff like makeup, but that doesn't impress me. I'm not hugely excited about makeup. I'm not excited about toiletries. I'm not excited about perfumes. I'm not excited about even getting clothing. And I know you probably think, what? Are you crazy? But I just don't get excited about that kind of stuff. I'm just not really into it. I just think, oh yeah, that smells nice, or oh yeah, that makeup looks okay, looks nice, but I don't get wildly excited about material stuff like that. And I just prefer stuff that I can use, or stuff that's productive, like crafting stuff. So I don't know what he's going to get me, if anything. Oh, he did get me a little knitted kit, which was to knit your own angel, which I have started. Oh, what's happened here? I've got a little stitch sticking out here. So he's got me a little knit your own Christmas angel, which I started. And I don't know if I'm going to have it ready to put on the tree whilst the tree is actually up. It might be done for next year's Christmas tree, to go on top of next year's tree, but not this one. But the thought was there, and it was something different. And he knows that's something I'm actually going to like more than just buying me, I don't know, a few lipsticks or mascaras. And I'll just be like, what'd you get me this for? I've already got what I need. So that's that. And so when we open our presents, it's going to be interesting. Because I have no idea what I'm going to get. So we'll see. Probably be something like a scarf, because at the end of the day, when in doubt, buy a scarf. Can never go wrong. Most scarves are nice, unless you purposely seek a really hideously ugly one. But most scarves are acceptable. So if you buy someone a scarf, it's always the safe choice, isn't it? But I actually knit my own scarves as well, so I don't buy them, I knit them for myself. Okay, so threading today is not as good and productive as it was yesterday. Come on now, stop messing around. I have to snip the ends. So if he buys me another cross-stitch kit, it'll just end up in a box with all the other cross-stitch kits. And I don't think he wants that. And I love these colours here, these sort of blue greens that make a change from the greens and the browns. It's good when it makes a change every so often. You do get so tired of greens and browns after a while, and you have to switch. And I think the reason why we do start new patterns is because we do get tired of looking at the same ones. And I don't know whether this is like a little candle burning in the window or a fireplace. I'm not sure. See, this is getting quite bulky and thick at the back, so it can be a little tricky to get that needle through. I'm going to do this row here. And I know for a fact that when I get a little bit further down, probably only about 3 or 4 squares, I'm going to start stitching a table and chairs, because it's like the outside of a cafeteria. And that's going to be cool, because those are going to be lighter colours again. It's kind of nice when you switch from light to dark and dark to light. Once there. Just gives you a break when you switch colours. Oh, we're nearly done, halfway through this square now. So Christmas is going to be quiet, and hopefully New Year will be quiet. Then everything will go a bit crazy, I think, because my house sale is supposed to happen early January. So I'm assuming that's not like the first week, or maybe not even the second, but maybe towards the end of the second week and into the third week, we should be hearing some news from the relevant offices about the completion of a sale. And that would really be great, because then once we've got that house that we own off our backs, we can then move on to looking for something here in Scotland. And I'm really, really excited. And I'm trying not to look at properties all the time, because I just get too excited about them. And I know that right at this point, I'm not quite ready for those properties to go looking at them or getting excited about them or anything like that. And I really don't want to get my hopes up on anything, which is going to be hard, because you know, when you see the property that you like, it's hard to not get worked up or excited about it. Now I've got a bit lost again here. So like they said, be hopeful, but not too hopeful, because nothing is yours until it's actually yours. So got to kind of keep a bit of emotional distance from things until I actually have an offer or something accepted. Now this one has gone a bit, the park threads drive me a bit mad today. So we've got 2 here and a space, then 2 and 3 spaces. Why do I have 3 spaces? I don't know. I'm going to start going this way instead. This one is a brown, and that's the right one. And that should be parked there. It honestly messes things up if you park in the wrong place. Only ever happens to me when I'm chatting, honestly. Never happens to me really when I'm working on my own. Yeah, that looks right. Three, 7, 9, 9. That is the grey, isn't it? Yeah, that is the grey. So that one's okay. So I have to go through them one by one to make sure they're right. And park. And I've noticed that the symbols on these charts are the same on a lot of charts. They're just different colours, which is a shame, because you can never actually memorize a symbol, because they'll have different colours on different charts. The only one that is consistent, oh no, wait, it's not, because the 310 can have different symbols as well on different charts. So you can just never know. That can't be right. I think this colour. That's 934. It's okay, it got mixed up again. No, this is 823. Which colour is 823? That's the one that seems to be confusing me. That's here. Okay, I think I've got it right now. Honestly, it's like a puzzle game or something. Right, let's get going with this one. So I'm also looking forward to starting this Whip Go in 2022. I have never played Whip Go before, but it's supposedly a lot of fun. 1, 2, 3 down. And I've got just a rotation of my current whips, but I will have a new start. I haven't put it in my whip go board, but I think at some point, because I can't really tell with all the house shenanigans that are coming up, can't really tell which month is going to be the best for that new start, because I'm intending to do it on a big scroll frame, and it's called The Snow Queen by Mirabilia, and I'm intending to start that one next year, but I have no idea what month is a good month, let alone what day or week is good. So we'll have to wait and see. I just do not know at this point. And I'm kind of hesitant to just say, oh, I'm going to start in February or I'm going to start mid-January, because it'll just add a pressure that I don't need at this point. So it's kind of all up in the air. But I think when I get a nice quiet period, if it's going to be at all possible, I will maybe do a new start. So we'll just wait and see. Because one thing I've learned about new starts is that it's just actually taking away time from your current projects. Like if I was to work on this one 3 days a week, I can no longer do 3 days a week because I'm going to have to squeeze another one in. And I'm not really much of a multiple whip person per se, but I have got excited about cross stitch and stuff, and I've kind of been enabled over the year by a lot of other people, and not necessarily blaming them, because enabling is fun, but it does kind of leave you with a lot of work, a lot of stitching to be done, and sometimes it gets you in a bit of a tizzy, you get a bit overwhelmed, and I really don't want that to happen to me. Don't want to be overwhelmed. Okay, this colour here. What one is this one? I think I'm making a right mess of this square, but never mind, because I can't see if that's the same colour. I actually can't see. It looks a bit darker to me. So what is this colour then? That should be 934. I think this one's 938. So I've gone a bit mad. So I am kind of aware that doing new ones will just mean that there's less time for the rest, and bearing that in mind, you know, you just got to be realistic sometimes and say, do I actually have the time for stuff? This colour's in the wrong place. This is not going great parking wise, is it? Apart from that, we're doing well. This one's in the right place. If in doubt, just snip it off, start again. And I am the sort of person that kind of reviews stuff and pays attention to to the reality of things, I think, a bit of a realist. Okay, now this one should be parked up one hole. So this is really a video of how to not park your threads rather than a stitch with me. Stitch with me, but don't listen to my parking techniques. Yeah, there we are. And this one should be the 924, which I think it is. We'll be back on track, no worries. I mean, to be honest, all these colours are so similar here in this black bit. I'm not hugely concerned. I'd be a little bit more concerned about these sort of areas that have quite defined details. That would make a difference if I messed it up. Like if I put a couple of black stitches in that yellow, it would really show and look a bit strange. So I pay a bit more attention on those areas. But if I do a wrong stitch amongst this little area here, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. Like, obviously I like to get it right, but there will be times when it's not going to be. Whoops, that felt a bit sharp going in there. So will you be stitching over Christmas, or will you be waiting for Christmas to end? Maybe you're getting very busy now with your family. It is that time of year when we're all trying to do 100 things at once. I think some people haven't even finished working yet, so they're trying to fit everything in. So I'm kind of lucky that I'm able to just sit and stitch now. Okay. I think part of the problem is that sometimes I don't actually tick off the stitches that I've done, and that makes it really, really confusing, because then you're wondering how it's done here and it's not done, it's not ticked off on your pattern keeper chart. So that really is why I try to mark off my stitches as I go, so that what I've got here is always nearly exactly the same as what I have on the pattern keeper. I think this is 938. Just going to check that one. No, that's not it. I think I need to get another thread very quickly and do a loop start. Very quick loop start. And I find it a lot easier to do a loop start with my double thread than starting with a single thread. I sort of do a pin stitch when I'm starting with a single thread. I think that's the end of that colour after all that. I think you'll find that when you do need to start a new colour, it's usually just for one stitch, because that's what they call Sod's Law. I'm gonna have to wind this back up. Now, let's get this right. I should have 3 rows left on this square, and that is correct. In which direction am I going in? I should be going from right to left. And that's 3799, 934. That doesn't look like, yeah, it's fine. Don't have 2 threads there. I don't know why. 1, 2, 3. Got 1 there. That stitch, that thread is missing. Mind, we'll go to this one. I have to keep checking now because my parking today is really, really not doing well. I think you'll find that some days your threading is better, other days your parking is better. There is no telling how it's going to be. I think you just have to go with it and discover everything as you go along. Do the best you can. Nothing's going to be perfect at the end of the day, and nor should it be. Oops, see, I nearly made a mistake there. I think part of the problem is when you get a bunch of colours in a square that are very much the same, very similar, or they're all sort of dark, and then it's easier to make a mistake. Definitely easier to make a mistake. Now I'm going to do another loop. Start with this beautiful kind of purple, I think. Some of these colours have such beautiful names. Oh, come on. I think I'm suffering from threaditis, which is an instant affliction of not being able to thread your needle. And it can strike at any time, like you can't predict it. Now, this colour here is very dark. Yeah, I think I cut away a colour too quickly for some reason. Oh yeah, because I didn't park it in the right place and I just snipped it off. That it's gone. this one gets parked here. So we're doing well, we're getting there. I'm actually going to do that stitch and just park it below. So this part that I've done here hasn't actually revealed very much, but it's just kind of sort of framed what I'd done yesterday. And once you really get into it, you can actually find yourself going super quickly. And that's when it gets more enjoyable, I think, when you can go super quickly, but really well, like not making mistakes, just really getting into it. Whoops. So I'm just going to do this thread, and then I think I'm going to take a break. And I'm not sure whether to return to this one or to go and do something else. To do another chart? I don't know. I haven't decided. I've kind of been in two minds recently. I've wanted to focus on one piece, but it hasn't actually happened. I've been sort of switching them around again. Can't seem to focus on one piece. I don't know why. If anybody can enlighten me on that, I'd appreciate it. How do you just focus on one piece without feeling the pull from other pieces? Because I'd really like to know. Because then I would get more done on one. But then I feel guilty about not doing the others, or I feel like I'm doing too much on one and not enough on the others, and can never seem to stick to any kind of plan, which is why I think whip go is going to be good, because if I can stick to whip go, it's going to kind of help me to focus on these goals that I've written. And to not be so flitty with everything. So there we are. I'm going to come back and finish the rest of that square in a little while. So thank you for stitching with me. It's been really, really good. It's been fun, and I have to apologise for my rubbishy parking today, but it happens. You know, you don't always get fantastic days. Some days are better than others. It's quite dark today, and I didn't sleep too well, so maybe I should get a little bit more rest before I continue. So I'm probably not going to do another stitch with me before Christmas Day now, at least. If I'm lucky, I might be able to come back and either do a live or a stitch with me just before the new year. We'll have to see. I can maybe squeeze one in before the new year. But just in case I don't see you again on my channel, I want to wish you a wonderful Christmas day, and I hope that all your dreams come true for next year. I hope you stay well and healthy, and everything that you wish for will come to you. So that is my blessing to you, everybody who supported me and watched my channel throughout the year. I'm very much sending you a lot of good wishes. So I will see you soon, guys. Take care and look after yourselves, and Merry Christmas. See you soon.